By the powers vested in me, in God, Yeshua, the universe, creator of my family, and I, as an ordained Reverend Christian Scottman, Peter Parkerman, I hereby dub these grounds sacred, baptized, consecrated, in the name of Holy Christ, in the name of the Holy Son, our Lord, in the name of the Holy Lord, and the others that be, I consecrate this ground holy. This sovereign nation of Crown Land that I own, and I hereby consecrate it, and it's connected to Russia, and the water that flows through here. I hereby consecrate the world, all nations, all people integrated. I hereby cosmically accept you all by the powers vested in. So, if you can imagine when a loud noise disrupts that thought process before it comes to an end, and I can either absorb it, record it, or deconstruct it and correct it, pisses me off. I'm not a people person. Not like the little depressed blues. Indigo, cyan. Anastasia's favorite color. Third eye chakra. Interesting, Anastasia's little rainbow level lamp. My head feels better. I'm also noticing that the Instagram filters pick up on my aura. There's UV light spectrum recording in there. That's how they make the filters. They're tracking your emotions. And then they're logging your facial expressions, your aura, your electromagnetic frequency. They're recording all of it, putting it in a goddamn fucking AI system located at Area 51. Which is the deep fake news. Terminators have been feeding us fucking media since probably Roswell, when it started. War of the Worlds, the radio show. The first time they tried to cause mass hysteria. And the suicide crisis pandemic began at Avatar, the Blue People movie. After people saw that, they had such a dopamine crash, the suicide rate spiked, and it's been going up ever since. If Disney can use their algorithms and their little comic series to plan out how they're going to take over the world, so can I. And if a little fucking pissant dumbass like Trudeau can do it, well, who am I to judge? It's my little fantasy comic series. I write my own ending. And we'll see what happens in the real world. I'm seeing statistics already that the suicide rates have diminished. And that the next generation, Y, is supposed to be calculated to be suicide-free. And in my heart, this is a anti-suicide campaign for Riley. Myself. This concludes another public service announcement brought to you by Tristan at the Trustin Foundation. Please feel free to weigh in your opinion as if this is brain damage or brain healing. And always know that everything is backwards. So when you feel like the world is against you, and you are feeling unloved, it's intrinsically designed to mean the exact opposite. This concludes another public service announcement brought to you by Tristan at the Trusted Foundation. Please feel free to weigh in your opinion as if this is brain damage or brain healing. And always know that everything is backwards. So when you feel like the world is against you, and you are feeling unloved, it's intrinsically designed to mean the exact opposite. Hey, Tank, may I be brazen enough to suggest or say I feel you sending me pixie dust? And whatever you're doing, keep doing it. I accidentally just fulfilled a cute little prophecy. Fatimah's prophecy said that if Russia wasn't consecrated, that it would start World War III, which, conspiratorially speaking, would be the apocalypse or the revelations or the Norse mythology, Ragnarok. So my intention as an ordained reverend was to consecrate Russia. And what's interesting is as I'm doing it here, rehearsing, I saw a Tucker Carlson's thing pop up saying he's doing an interview with Putin. February 8th. I think it's even at 8. I'm doing the content piece now, and as I'm looking at it, I'm looking at the date on the time, and because of how my brain's wired, I don't see things until I see it backwards. It's like being horribly dyslexic, but I'm not dyslexic. I can just decipher the fact that the King's English is designed to be backwards from all the other languages. The Tower of Babel, when it got rewritten, fucked up the Bible, right? I'm looking at the date. I'm like, oh, that's cute. I was born on October 23rd. Sorry, my mom's person's here. October 23rd, 1986. So I'm looking at the date. It's like, oh, 2024, the day after. Not the 23rd, the 24th. The day of the Virgo. Or the day of the Leo. I'm always on the cusp. 02. Only my brain doesn't see it as 02. I see it as 50. Or 05. And then I realized when I was reposting and screenshotting and screen recording my content day of the interview, and I'm realizing I'm accidentally actually doing a Reiki consecration at the Reiki Restoration Integration Station. And all I'm doing is having a heartfelt dad moment to myself, recording myself, talking to myself as I always do. And I'm actually realizing that because of how this apartment is, it's a natural sewer, it's a drainage way of the flooding natural rainwater from outside that cleanses the earth and actually comes through here like a little sewer system, like Ninja Turtles. That's why we slide down this pipeline into the floodway here. The Family Peace pipeline that looks like the giant Oreo pipe. And I'm realizing that I'm changing the molecular structures of the water as it goes into the earth, as I'm cleansing. I'm actually consecrating Russia on the day of the interview. That's why my fucking wrecking ball thing got banned in Russia. I keep being hit with guideline infringements. Well, AI tech bots are, I don't know, I have somebody's attention, I know I do. Or at least in a little multiverse of how I perceive the world. As I understand it, like when you put a magnifying glass looking at water or looking through water, it focuses the light through our DNA, and the vibrations, like Tesla said, everything, the key to the universe is found in sound. DNA harmonic sequencing. Me talking to myself, acting as a little resonation chamber, and changing the molecular structure of both my DNA and the water going into the ground. My own little holograph of my aura, which the CIA has documented classified information of the yin-yang, that our root chakra is a black hole and our crown chakra is the white hole. And the universe isn't flat, going on forever. We're on the inside vortex of like a swirly whirly water pool, and we're looking out into infinite mirrors. And if you think of how fast the earth is actually spinning, and you can get an after image just by moving your hand in front of your face, you're seeing the space-time continuum is what they keep trying to study. There isn't other life out there. They're just looking at us, looking at us, looking at us. Somebody gave me a free joint. And I've had a lot of coffee, and I've had a really fucking good day. I just got back 80 pounds of fucking free food, $50 gift certificate to Walmart, a $30 brand new baby chair I can sell for $30. I can even get Ash a nice cacao shipment for Valentine's Day, or 6-year anniversary. And then she popped on the live while I'm talking to myself. And that was sweet. She became part of the Consecration of Russia. And yeah, so here in the little comic verse where you're Tinkerbell, Dick Tracy, you're kind of like Watson. Oh, cool. Well, I got 2 Watsons. That's cool. I got a girl Watson and a boy Watson. Oh, that's why I'm always tagging you 2 next to each other. That makes sense. And the universe moves in the same geometric shape of the figure 8. Like if you stand in the middle of your aura and everything's whirly around you, right? It's going to go through like a whirlpool, pop you at the right, loop back up around, swirly, whirly down the bottom, up, back and around. Constant vortex, and each person is a walking little swirly, creating walking little swirly planets of souls. And some are demons and some are angels, depending on the swirly frequency. Yeah, I picked up some tobacco. And herbal tea. 1 joint, a spritz of tobacco I picked up off the ground, and herbal tea, versus how I was yelling, screaming at other friend there this morning, saying how pissed off I was, and I really, I understand what's going on here. I gotta reset so this makes it through. Hey, Tank. I smoke. The blood goes backwards, and then it cuts from the communications. That's why you have no control over what you're saying. When you're drunk, that's why your inhibitions are gone. And the hippocampus, and then there's a hypothalamus somewhere too. Around your amygdala is your basal ganglia. That's the body's thermostat, hot, cold, temperature regulation. And then it goes to, I don't know where it goes to, but it's changed to the hippocampus, the communication center on your left temple, and it goes to the frontal lobes. So like being drunk, and the communication, or the power gets cut from the frontal lobes, the blood goes backwards, and then it cuts from the communications. That's why you have no control over what you're saying. When you're drunk, that's why your inhibitions are gone, and the first thought that comes out of your head, like myself, I'm just as surprised as everybody else in the room. Because when I'm verbalizing, I'm just verbalizing what my brain's actually doing on the inside at all times. the mindless chatter. I'm actually just able to breath control myself. Because I had swimming lessons up to swimming instructions as a kid. Or, you know, one step down from lifeguard training. And then a scuba diver, and I really wanted to be Aquaman. So I had a lot of breath control. That's why smoking is so good for me. And I'm a natural athlete. So I can beatbox myself out like an auctioneer. And that's how I jack my own cortisol levels up, because my heart rate's jacked up high and I run out of oxygen. And then the dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin. Dopamine, visual stimulation, color pop, video games. Serotonin, food, touch, taste, sound. Oxytocin, love, touch, cuddles, sex. Testosterone to estrogen. Helps out women feel better. Helps men feel better. Or it takes our estrogen, jacks it into testosterone. We need twice testosterone as women, and women need twice estrogen as men. Otherwise the body goes haywire and wants to die. Follow the right time strike me. Population control. Then it hits their hypothalamus and their antihippocampus. I think they're next to each other. Okay. This is your logic and reasoning. It cuts the blood from there, and all this swells and pools in the amygdala, at the throat chakra center, at the base of the spinal column, and it presses out on my body's thermostat. Too hot, hyper-aggressive, too cold, compressive. To depress something, again, everything's backwards. You want to be depressed. Depressed means you're compressed to the point where you need depression. The King's English is backwards. And everything is designed to fucking kill you. And anybody who's dyslexic is labeled fucked in the head when they're actually able to see things for what it is. ADHD. We're not meant to sit still. We're meant to be like a wolf. Everybody, oh yeah, don't keep wolves in cages and whales and, cages. They're meant to walk miles and miles and miles and miles. So are we. Don't sit down because you have back pain. Get up because you have back pain. Every day is backwards day. I'm not dyslexic. I'm right. My egotistical, grandiose, bipolar, narcissistic kind of way. The bipolar is because of, again, the frame rate that I can function at. I spike my own cortisol levels. I pop my fucking dopamine. Everything swells, and I become like a theoretical parrot, the complex CTPSD, or whatever you want to call it. T stands for Tristan. Trust in foundation. I like that. Insurance. I smoke, the blood goes backwards. Okay. This is your logic and reasoning. It cuts the blood from there, and all this swells and pools in the amygdala, at the throat chakra center, at the base of the spinal column, and it presses out on my body's thermostat. Too hot, hyper-aggressive, too cold, compressive. To depress something, again, everything's backwards. You want to be depressed. Depressed means you're compressed to the point where you need depression. The King's English is backwards. And everything is designed to fucking kill you, and anybody who's dyslexic is labeled fucked in the head when they're actually able to see things for what it is. ADHD. We're not meant to sit still. We're meant to be like a wolf. Everybody, oh yeah, don't keep wolves in cages and whales in, cages. They're meant to walk miles and miles and miles and miles and miles. So are we. Don't sit down because you have back pain. Get up because you have back pain. Every day is backwards day. I'm not dyslexic. I'm right. My egotistical, grandiose, bipolar, narcissistic kind of way. The bipolar is because of, again, the frame rate that I can function at. I spike my own cortisol levels. I pop my fucking dopamine. Everything swells, and I become like a theoretical parrot, the complex CTPSD, or whatever you want to call it. T stands for SHAZAM. Trust in Foundation. I like that. Insurance. The Shrimman. It's a me, Ruby Daddy. In the Shrimpocalypse. Wait, Shrimmageddon against the food apocalypse. Ash wanted to do a documentary about the food toxic crap. Asked me to come up with a business plan. Essentially, this is literally everything in one hit. The integration was very nice. That time off did me good. But I do need to smoke because that pain came back so bad. So yeah, I got a giant swollen spot. Again, I think it's exactly what I just said. It becomes a muscle knot. And it presses on the fucking nerve that hits my spinal column. And then that tension, the hypertension pain, like an over-tightened guitar, loops up around my temple and hooks into my eye. And it feels like there's a giant fish hook ramming on my fucking temple. And the veins in my head pop out of the side. This is why I've been having migraines and chronic insomnia since I was 1 when I fell on my damn high chair. I suspect they had fucking through me, to be honest. Darkseid, he's not my dad. He's literally my Darkseid. A character from Justice League and Spider-Man, and literally Star Wars, everything else. I can't call my father, I can't call him my dad. I'm a dad. And I'm an ordained reverend, and that makes me a father. And interesting enough, I died on Father's Day. And I'm having a fucking political meeting that I want to set up with Trudeau, born on Christmas Day. Klaus Schwab. Schwabbing the clause. Schwabbing the whole contract, the Great Reset. He thinks he's Santa Claus, the Holy Grail, Sazrael. Descended from Jesus, and Santa Claus was the same fucking person. I don't know if it was in the life that was missing the 30 years before he popped up again, or after he miraculously ascended into heaven and nobody saw him again for another, what, our lifetime would be 80 years, their lifetime would be, what, 300? Because, James Bond can go to a different town and change his name, and secret identity, and so can Jason Bourne. And Batman, and the Twilight Edwards, and the Cullens. But, if Jesus did it, that would be immortal. He would only ever be called Jesus. Christos. Yeshua. The Y. From Jesus. Christos. Christ. Of Christ. Jesus. Jesus. Yeah, I play with Latin. Interesting for a dead language that nobody speaks. Google Translate knows a lot. I used to write out my prayers in Latin when I was studying to be an occultist, because I needed to exercise myself, because I accidentally and intentionally sold my soul to the devil when I was 19 when all this started. I got the Holy Knights of Christ stamped on my back and the sigil of Lucifer on my right leg. Ultimate rebellion against the Father. The Bible is backwards. It starts with the Revelations. Only English people read the book left to right. The rest of the world reads it right back to back. Even when I write my notes, I start at the back. It just feels natural. I thought it was because it was backwards. But the thing is, I'm not slow. I'm fast. I'm sped up. Hang on. Okay. This is back around the 75. The Revelations, the seven-headed dragon that is spoken and deciphered in the book, somewhere near the back around the 75% mark. Jesus sits down and explains the seven-headed dragon is NATO, the seven leaders of the nations, and the horns on the heads are the political leaders. Lucifer didn't rise up against God, he rose up against Pontius fucking Pilate, and Julius Caesar, and Alexander the Great. Follow? Then he became Jesus Christ. Joseph, Technicolor Dreamcoat, flowed down the Nile. He was his own father. Became Moses, freed the people, wandered through the desert, dry fasting, 40 days, 40 nights, blah, 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 blah. Ends up in Jerusalem, becomes Jesus Christ, yes? He's not talking to his father. He was Joseph. He is Jesus. It's about the family. It's about, it doesn't matter if the chick is knocked up with somebody else's kid. It doesn't matter that you're born in a barn, surrounded by beautiful, cute little animals and little cows to lick your feet. They have really rough tongues, but still. That's beautiful. Why is it depicted? Oh yeah, they're grungy, dirty vagabonds. Mary Magdalene, the whore. Mary, the mother. It was his wife. Just like I call Ash Mom to the kids. Why? Because I can't be bothered to say your every time to Finn for 6 years. He's turning 8. I've known him since he was 2. I'm his fucking dad. The closest thing he's ever had. So I'm not walking away from him. It's not about Ashley, it's about him. Because I know what it's like not to have a dad. He kidnapped me when I was 3 and it popped my mom into schizophrenia. So I was always locking myself in my bathroom to stay away from him since I was a baby. I've had 7 head injuries. And I really got to consider, I think I mentioned this earlier, martial arts, the amount of times I've smacked my face off the ground and popped my shoulder out. That's got to whiplash something inside. 7 times I've made a personality, 7 times I've blipped off and had to redo it. 7 different chakras. 7 different accents, 7 different heritage families. Neo Matrix. Sable Hammersmith. My grandma, who was schizophrenic. My dad's mom's mom, great grandma. Peterson. Peterson's got to be Irish. My dad's dad. Charles Leslie Peterson, but he wouldn't use Charles because he hated his dad, abusive, drunken alcoholic. Cheated on his mom. Shocker. Fucking, almost said Epstein to the fucking animals. I meant to say Dahmer. Probably the same. Raised my grandpa, raised my dad. Peterson, Irish. Hammersmith. Hammersmith. I don't know that one. I have Celtic, I have English. Celtic English. German. My dad told me Holland and Dutch. Well, again, different accents, like New York and Southern. Holland, Holland? Dooch? The Dooch? What was it? Fat bastard from fucking Austin Powers? The Doochman? Different Dooch. And I told that to my lawyer. My liar. Get the play in English. The cowardly lion. Or lion. Make you lie down and bend the knee. Simba. Disney. All links. The Hippocrates staff. The Hippocratic oath. The snake's going up the staff telling you don't eat the apple. You're supposed to eat apples. Come along and tell you eat McDonald's. Don't eat the real fruit. You'll find out the truth and then you'll get disbanded. Excommunicated from Eden. Atlantis. There's a fucking volcano. Sodom and Gomorrah. I don't know if you ever read the Bible. I can't remember if we had that taught. Right now, anyway. Fire and brimstone. The thing was going to explode. That's how no one knew to build the ark. Multiple arks were found disbanded. A lot up in Norway. Norwegians. Ragnarok. What the fuck just happened? Where did you come from? The battle of the gods. The gods fell. The men lived. And the whole fucking island sank to the sea just off the coast of Atlantis, under and connected to, in the ocean, a giant elephant boneyard. Because it all used to be connected. How did it snap off? The volcano exploded. And connected to, in the ocean, a giant elephant boneyard. Because it all used to be connected. How did it snap off? The volcano exploded. He was Noah's Ark that ascended to, where does it go from there? Cain and Abel? Abraham? Through to Solomon, who was King David against the giant. Flying gravestone. Leads back to Robin. It's all one thing, Dixie. At least in my little mind it is. I'm not like people. I'm not like them. You know, and I see it's a good thing, but a lot of what your propagandized political urban dictionary YOLO bling calls depressed state comes from needing to fucking act like everybody else, and it drives me tyrannically, viciously insane. I'm not like other people. I don't know if it's autism, because so far in my fucking story, if it's labeled, tagged, packaged, boxed, and bagged, it's reverse psychology, and that's why reverse psychology works, because everything in this fucking fornication under consent of the king act is backwards day. Back around the 75. The revelation. Flying gravestone leads back to Robin. It's all one thing, Dixie. At least in my little mind it is. I'm not like people. I'm not like them. You know, and I see it's a good thing, but a lot of what your propagandized political urban dictionary YOLO bling calls depressed state comes from needing to fucking act like everybody else, and it drives me tyrannically, viciously insane. I'm not like other people. I don't know if it's autism, because so far in my fucking story, if it's labeled, tagged, packaged, boxed, and bagged, it's reverse psychology, and that's why reverse psychology works, because everything in this fucking fornication under consent of the king act is backwards day. You wanna advertise me, Dixie? This is who I am, this is what I'm doing, this is my mission. I'm not letting Anastasia and Finn grow up in this world. And if fucking little ass Napoleon can do it, and somebody like Hitler who's strung out on LSD, meth, fucking cocaine, heroin, and he knew that the Jewish population who ate swine would have the most toxins in their body. When you detox, your eyes go blue. Mine went from emerald to a steel cobalt sapphire. Because I'm detoxing all the sugar. I didn't have a choice. I'm not at my dad's house where everything's fucking cookies. Come to the dark side, we have cookies. Come to the light worker side, we bake our cookies. Even Luna's service tag, 51308, Baker Street. Like Sherlock Holmes living beneath Mrs. Hudson. Baker Street Suite. I'm a baker and I'm a baker. Nutritionist, nerdy ninja, kitchen magician. Raising the next nexus of elemental growth and nerdy ninjas. And legit, when there's three of us, we're the three Planeteers. When Ash is here, we're the Ninja Turtle, the Turtle Power. How the world's oldest man with, I don't know if you ever heard this story, he got a sigil from the king, at 222 years old for being commemorated as the world's oldest man. And his secret was he ate exactly what a turtle's diet was. So like, dude, at first we're like, whoa, and then we're like, whoa, and now we're like, whoa. Finding Nemo. Where'd Nemo go? He's off showing Marlin what's up. The lower my cortisol comes down, the more dimethyltryptamine gets released. It's a natural opiate, it's a natural psychedelic. It's a natural, there's a pharmaceutical word for it too. Medicine. And it's stimulated through exercise. There's nothing wrong with me, and I'm so tired of people who are all screwy telling me to go get my head checked. A pinch of fucking cigarette that I picked up off the ground does not break my sobriety. If anything, I'm feeling the moon coming. And apparently I'm consecrating Russia by accidental subconscious. My subconscious has come up with all of this. I've even dreamt it. Little flashes and flickers, and I'm realizing that at least that I'm here, I can do what I pictured, but it's weird because these dreams were like from a year and a half ago. Long before I knew I'd be forced out. And the timing is uniquely innocent and coincidental. Although Sherlock Holmes says there's no such thing as coincidences, there are cosmic synchronicities though, because of the geometric shapes and patterns of cell division. Fun fact, did you know that when you drive fast, and the oxygen and the hydrogen in your body die and break, you get the electric spark of light, and it also creates water. Condensation, your body hydrates itself. So you go 40 days and 40 nights in the desert. And the temptation in the desert, temptation with another woman. Even if you're off on your own or whatever happens, the whole purpose is you're not supposed to throw away the investment of a time and family to someone less worthy. This is what it means to be a dad and a father, and this is why I don't like their little Coca-Cola plastic Lorax tree lighting festivals. Green Mario and the wrench who stole Christmas. Or as I put in the comic strip, the hobgoblin who stole crystals. Because if you take the red and the blue from Spider-Man, you make it orange, you get one of the characters that was actually played by the Joker, who was also played by Luke Skywalker. And Yoda eats the Cambo Toads, interestingly enough. Disney knows exactly what they're doing. And exactly what I'm doing, because I'm a little MK Ultra project dropped off for the black box without parental supervision from the age of 3 when I was kidnapped by my dad. That's why my mom was never around. When she was schizophrenic and couldn't take care of me. Point being, I know who I am. And just like Disney uses their movies as their comic strip, their business plan for how to take over the fucking world, Disney World, duh. And Disneyland's a sovereign nation owned by the crown. And nobody can do an investigation because invading would be an act of war. Like if you invade indigenous native land, they can shoot you on sight and there's nothing anybody can do about it. Disney doesn't have a military. I want a trucker protest to raid the fucking island. And if people can do it, aren't we all? And people can do it at Area 51 and even risk being shot, and even the guards loved it and took it seriously. They took their job seriously and they still did like interviews with the people. You know, they did a better job than the fucking guards outside the royal palace who keep their fucking stone cold face. Your queen is dead along with the king. I'm a dad. Flying gravestone dates back to Robin. It's all one thing, Dixie. At least I see exactly what they're doing, and I'm going to use their little method against them, including their algorithm that I can study. And I see patterns. I just see patterns. Trackable, traceable, repeatable patterns. Everything's shapes. Everything's generically the same for me. It drives actually fucking nuts. I'm a bit much, I get that. Let's face it, dicks. It takes a very strong man to love divinely strong women. I'm going to raise them. If Disney can use their movies and their comic series, that's why Disney owns Marvel and LucasArts. Well, they own everything. You know, top the chains, Black Rock and Stone River. Just under the World Economic Forum, just under Freeland. Hitler's grandfather. Sorry, Hitler's lieutenant's grandfather. Trudeau, born on Christmas Day. Fidel Castro's son. X and line under Santa Claus. With the World Economic Forum. Releasing Disease X. Prop fiddle thing going on the internet that's supposed to come at Christmas time when the world is busy housing the masses. And if someone doesn't consecrate Russia before this shit hits the fan at Christmas time, it's supposed to be going through. My dad was conspiracy nut and I was a genetic member. I've been able to put everything in chronological order. These mushrooms and drinking my own psychedelic mushroom piss. That is lemon-teching mushrooms in a fermenting apple cider vinegar shot. I can add the food. I need to put CBD oil and stuff in this too. Make painkillers active and pain management active. Whoa, if I was a suit, that'd be a really cool command. Pain management active. That's my activation key. Apparently you can do that. Like it's morphin time. Like somatic tapping. Again, it gyrates your cells and activates DNA sequencing. Combined with vitamin D and the light passing through. Let's face it, if light can be picked up from the, my dad took There's like a telescope, an ultraviolet telescope, deep down under the earth. And it picks up the light particles that pass through all the rocks and stones and how much radiation gets through. Radiation activates your DNA. The free radicals, they're not radiation. Everything's backwards. It just balances through little spinning gyros and make them bump into everything else around it, causing inflammation. Your blood goes into there to cool it and fix it. And if you have coagulants and microplastics in your blood, carcinogens from chocolate and candy and the glucose, you get microplastic cuts like fiberglass in your blood on the inside of your veins. Your cholesterol that's built from 80% of your body's cholesterol derived from glucose sugars. It's the scar tissue that builds you stronger, bigger, faster. And if you have coagulated blood that's not diluted by water, because it goes in the water, and encourage everybody not to drink tap water, but to drink fluorinated whatevers, and Coke, and tea, and everything else, blah 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 blah, glyphosate, and barley, and all the wheat that adds to the sugar and the gluten. Your high cholesterol is caused by sugar, not eggs. And it restricts your veins until something pops. Yeah, I spammed the show House for 10 years straight. I was trying to figure out how to fix my mom. All the cases were based off real case study. Like case law. And I got 25 years legal experience. So, if you can imagine when a loud noise disrupts that thought process before it comes to an end, and I can either absorb it, record it, or deconstruct it and correct it, pisses me off. I'm not a people person. Not like the little depressive blues. Indigo, cyan. That's his favorite color. I see exactly what they're doing, and I'm going to use their little method against them, including their algorithm that I can study. And I see patterns. I just see patterns. Trackable, traceable, repeatable patterns. Everything's shapes. Everything's generically the same for me. It drives actually fucking nuts. I'm a bit much, I get that. Let's face it, dicks. It takes a very strong man to love divinely strong women. I'm going to raise them. If Disney can use their movies and their comic series, that's why Disney owns Marvel and LucasArts. Well, they own everything. You know, Top the Chains, Black Rock, and Stone River. Just under the World Economic Forum. Just under Freeland. Hitler's grandfather. Sorry, Hitler's lieutenant's granddaughter. Trudeau, born on Christmas Day. Fidel Castro's son. X and mine under Santa Claus. The World Economic Forum. Releasing Disease X on a prop fiddle thing that's been going on the internet that's supposed to come at Christmas time when the world is busy housing the masses. And if someone doesn't consecrate Russia before this shit hits the fan at Christmas time, it's supposed to be World War III. My dad was conspiracy nut and I was a pedantic member. I've been able to put everything in chronological order. These mushrooms and drinking my own psychedelic mushroom piss. That is lemon-teching mushrooms in a fermenting apple cider vinegar shot. Like at the food, I need to put CBD oil and stuff in this too. Make painkillers active and pain management active. Whoa, if I was a suit, that'd be a really cool command. Pain management active. That's my activation key. So, if you can imagine when a loud noise disrupts that thought process before it comes to an end, and I can either absorb it, record it, or deconstruct it and correct it, pisses me off. I'm not a people person. I like the little depressive blues. Indigo, cyan. Anastasia's favorite color. Third eye chakra. Interesting, Anastasia's little rainbow lava lamp. My head feels better. I'm also noticing that the Instagram filters pick up on my aura. There's UV light spectrum recording in there. That's how they make the filters. They're tracking your emotions, and then they're logging your facial expressions, your aura, your electromagnetic frequency. They're recording all of it, putting it in a goddamn fucking AI system located at Area 51, which is the deep fake news. The Terminators have been feeding us fucking media since probably Roswell, when it started. War of the Worlds, the radio show. The first time they tried to cause mass hysteria. The suicide crisis pandemic began at Avatar, the Blue People movie. After people saw that, they had such a dopamine crash that suicide rates spiked and has been going up ever since. If Disney can use their algorithms and their little comic series to plan out how they're going to take over the world, so could I. And if a little fucking pissant dumbass like Trudeau can do it, well, who am I to judge? It's my little fantasy comic series. I write my own ending, and we'll see what happens in the real world. I'm seeing statistics already that suicide rates have diminished, and that the next generation Y is supposed to be calculated to be suicide free. And in my heart, this is a anti-suicide campaign for Riley. Myself. This concludes another public service announcement brought to you by Tristan at the Trustin Foundation. Please feel free to weigh in your opinion as if this is brain damage or brain healing. And always know that everything is backwards. So when you feel like the world is against you, and you are feeling unloved, it's intrinsically designed to mean the exact opposite. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I am Blue Jason.
Do you have I did not blow up Nord Stream. Thank you, though.
У вас лично, может быть, есть алиби. У вас лично.
Do you have I did not blow up Nord Stream. Thank you, though.
У вас лично, может быть, есть алиби. У вас лично.
You personally may have an alibi, but the CIA has no such alibi.
Do you have evidence that NATO or the CIA did it?
You know, I won't get into details, but people always say in such cases, look for someone who is interested.
But I'm confused. I mean, that's the biggest act of industrial terrorism ever, and it's the largest emission of CO2 in history. Okay, so if you had evidence, and presumably given your security services, your intel services, you would, that NATO, the US, CIA, the West, did this, why wouldn't you present it and win a propaganda victory?
In the war of propaganda, it is very difficult to defeat the United States, because the United States controls all the world's media and many European media. The ultimate beneficiary of the biggest European media are American financial institutions. Don't you know that? So it is possible to get involved in this work, but it is cost prohibitive, so to speak. We can simply shine the spotlight on our sources of information, and we will not achieve results.
Who blew up Nord Stream?
You for sure.
I was busy that day. Nate, do you have
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. May I, going forward, intrinsically remind you and encourage all of you. Would you kindly remember the 25th of December, the Antichrist treason and plot? For I think of no reason Trudeau's COVID treason will ever be bought. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I am Blue Jason. This concludes another public service announcement brought to you by Tristan at the Trustin Foundation. Please feel free to weigh in your opinion as if this is brain damage or brain healing. And always know that everything is backwards, so when you feel like the world is against you, and you are feeling unloved, it's intrinsically designed to mean the exact opposite. So, if you can imagine when a loud noise disrupts that thought process before it comes to an end, and I can either absorb it, record it, or deconstruct it and correct it. I see exactly what they're doing, and I'm going to use their little method against them, including their algorithm that I can study. I see patterns. I just see patterns. Trackable, traceable, repeatable patterns. Everything's shapes. Everything's generically the same for me. Drives actually fucking nuts. I'm a bit much, I get that. Let's face it, dicks. It takes a very strong man to love divinely strong women. And I'm going to raise them. If Disney can use their movies and their comic series, that's why Disney owns Marvel and LucasArts, follow? They own everything, and at the top of the chain is BlackRock and Stone, whatever. Just under the World Economic Forum, just under Freeland, Hitler's granddaughter. Sorry, Hitler's lieutenant's granddaughter. Trudeau, born on Christmas Day. Fidel Castro's son. Next in line under Santa Claus at the World Economic Forum. Releasing Disease X on a profitable thing that's been going around the internet that's supposed to come at Christmas time when the world is busy housing the masses. And if someone doesn't consecrate Russia before this shit hits the fan at Christmas time, it's supposed to be World War III. My dad was conspiracy nut, and my little eidetic memory has been able to put everything in chronological order. These mushrooms, and drinking my own psychedelic mushroom piss. That is lemon-teching mushrooms in a fermenting apple cider vinegar shot. I'm going to add to food. I need to put CBD oil and stuff in this too. Make it painkillers active and pain management active. Whoa, if I was a suit, that'd be a really cool command. Pain management active! That's my activation cue. Apparently you can do that, like it's morphin time. Like somatic tapping. Again, it gyrates your cells and activates DNA sequencing. Combined with vitamin D and the light passing through. Let's face it, if light can be picked up from the, what's it called? I visited there, my dad took me. There's like a telescope, an ultraviolet telescope, deep down under the earth. And it picks up the light particles that pass through all the rocks and stones and how much radiation gets through. Radiation activates your DNA. The free radicals, the not radiation, everything's backwards. That disbalances your little spinning gyros and make them bump into everything else around it, causing inflammation. Your blood goes into there to cool it and fix it. And if you have coagulants and microplastics in your blood, carcinogens from chocolate and candy and the glucose, you get microplastic cuts like fiberglass in your blood on the inside of your veins. Your cholesterol that's built from 80% of your body's cholesterol derived from glucose sugars. It's the scar tissue that builds you stronger, bigger, faster. And if you have coagulated blood that's not diluted by water, because they poison the water, and encourage everybody not to drink tap water, but to drink fluorinated whatevers, and Coke, and tea, and everything else, blah 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 blah, glyphosate, and barley, and all the wheat that adds to the sugar and the gluten. Your high cholesterol is caused by sugar, not eggs. And it restricts your veins until something pops. Yeah, I spammed the show house for 10 years straight. I was trying to figure out how to fix my mom. All the cases were based off real case study. Be medical student, or medical, like case law. And I got 25 years legal experience. So, if you can imagine when a loud noise disrupts that thought process before it comes to an end, and I can either absorb it, record it, or deconstruct it and correct it, pisses me off. I'm not a people person. Not like the little depressive blues. indigo, cyan. And here's his favorite color. I see exactly what they're doing. By the powers vested in me, in God, Yeshua, the universe, creator, my family, and I, as an ordained Reverend Christian Scotsman, Peter Parkerman, I hereby dub these grounds sacred, baptized, consecrated, in the name of Holy Christ, in the name of the Holy Son, our Lord, in the name of the Holy Lord, and the mothers that be, I consecrate this ground holy. This sovereign nation of Crown land that I own, and I hereby consecrate it, and it's connected to Russia and the water that flows through here. I hereby consecrate the world, all nations, all people integrated. I hereby cosmically accept you all by
I have amazing news. In 2022, suicide rates from 10 to 14-year-olds dropped by 18%, and rates among 15 to 24-year-olds dropped 9%. Gen Z is on the way to becoming suicide free. Even in the midst of suicide rates for almost everyone age 25 and up increasing. It's so easy when we operate through a screen every day to assume that you know everything that's going on in someone else's life. But the truth is, I have never felt so personally victimized by something I've seen on social media.
Top 10 whitest cities in the United States.
Yesterday, the Senate Judiciary Committee held a massive hearing with almost all of the major social media companies' CEOs to talk about how dangerous social media was for teenagers and kids. And while I 100% agree that there is a mental health component to overuse of social media, I have to wonder if there's an ulterior motive going on when they say stuff like this.
Social media companies, as they are currently designed, are dangerous products. They're destroying lives, threatening democracy itself.
Threatening democracy. Your ability. You think there is some sort of nefarious agenda behind the scenes?
good cannabis. Found a joint and good cannabis. Found a joint and I still have half the joint. And mixed with the herbal teas. There's a spritz of tobacco on top, but it's not even hit yet. Oh, I'm so loving and so emotional compared to where I was just like 2 hours, like 20 minutes ago. I wanted to have a heart-to-heart dad talk. As much as I accomplished, I've had an interesting day. You can check my stuff out. I just walked back a whole hour carrying 80 pounds of food for my kids, my mom, and my family. I'm tired, and I'm getting rid of a migraine because I got a really bad muscle knot in my neck from carrying all this stuff because I've been doing it every day this week. Take care of my family. I have a dad. That's what I do. And I was just reflecting on how in my heart I'm actually crying because out of everything that I just did, all the free food and 80 pounds of free food, all because I worked for a free meal, I even got paid $50 cash and a free joint out of it, and free tobacco, and free dog food. The bottom line is, I only got $3 goddamn on my account. I feel like a fucking failure. Oh, right! I grabbed up this thing because I went dumpster diving, carrying all this stuff back a fucking hour walk. I was reflecting on the fact that Valentine's Day is coming up and it's the 6-year anniversary of me and my best friend, and all I wanted to do was get her a fucking cacao shipment for like $30. That's what you're gonna be. I feel better now. I just solved my own problem. I'm not gonna look at the phone. And you all know why. Cannabis. Man. I mean, go look at the bipolar. That's not bipolar. Hyperactive personality syndromes. I was just raving like a freaking lunatic 10 minutes ago, just before this. Takes the pain away. Spider-Man meditation music. This is the mushroom music I use. I'm making a documentary. The Shroom Man, Shroomageddon. Shroom Insurance for All. Tristan Foundation. Against the food apocalypse. How to teach parents how to actually raise the next nutritional nexus of nerdy ninjas. Actually be heroes for the fucking change. Little blue planet's not gonna work. Why is it the little blue planet? The little blue depressed ones. Blue means truth. Okay, nobody's watching. I'll wave back at you. I love you. I love you. I love you. It's a little green planet. Because under the blue is a whole light spectrum of fish and indigo and ultraviolet. It doesn't stop at the blue. It's not flat. It's 6-dimensional. It goes deeper through the water and up into space and through the swirly-whirly time continuum of like a magnifying glass, how we see different holograms. How the world sees us as our electrical magnetic thing spins, right? Because it's constantly doing this to the light. This is how we see things from different perspectives. So, under the blue, there's red. There's rainbow cosmic colored coral. There's black and white whales. There's 50 Shades of Grey dolphins, lassies. There's vibrant, bright purples and green seaweed, yellow fish, yellow orange sand, orange. Where's Nemo? Be a hero, showing his dad what's up. I can get you hot chocolate. I can get you real hot chocolate for our anniversary friendship thing. First day we ever met, had a collaboration. Became co-workers. And our kids became best friends. Yeah, it's not a date, but I'm still gonna do something nice for you. I'm gonna get the chocolate right this time. I might even order... Oh, I don't have enough to order some for myself and make real chocolate. I have the... Oh, I don't have coconut oil. Go buy some. Dumpster dive. Find it. Some food bank's gonna have it. Get everything else you want. It's not that I don't lift a finger, it's that I only lift my fingers. I don't use money. Money allows you to not lift your fingers. You got people like me to take care of you, do it for you. The Supermen of the world. The Navy Sigil SEALs. The hostile bands, men, the husbands. The anti-aggressors, the anti-punishers, the anti-toxins. In Toxin City, teaching my kids how to spell, that's how you spell toxicity. Toxin City. Where we are. Mluge, Scarlett, Campbell. The anti-punisher of corruption. The wee little Chat LeBlanc, saber-toothed tiger. Campbell Venom Smash Malatus. My daughter. Sailor Scout Guardian Anesthesia Unicorn, Scarlet. And together we're the 3 Planeteers. And when you throw Mamma Mia in, it'll be a bit of a splitter in our sides sometimes. I love you anyway. We become the next nexus of elemental growth and nerdy ninjas. Turtle powers. Hey, you told me to make a business plan. We never talked about it. Now you can watch it along with the rest of the world. Educational content for the children, yes? As we bloop 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 down the family peace pipeline. Flood the world with Reiki. This is a natural drainage sewer for the water outside. Flows right through the damn room. And it gets cleansed and purified and goes into the ground, and there's nothing you can do to stop me. Distance Reiki healer. From Soreikiko. Little Xavier Airbender, Kitara. Saving the next X-Men. And the wise, wonderful women. Just like us, but a little weird. About my size. The world is not burning. We are sending you light. I love you. I love you. I love you. Well, Boyle, it's been done. I am cleansing in the steam room, the pipeline. It's in the vapor, it's in the vents, it's in the air, it's in the water. It's going down our pipeline here in the teleportation. So, that is a Reiki restoration integration station, Consecration of Russia. I'm an ordained reverend Reiki practitioner. Thank you. Well, boy.
General, it's not about external manifestations. It's not about going to church every day or banging your head on the floor. It is in the heart. And our culture is so human-oriented.
So do you see the supernatural at work as you look out across what's happening in the world now? Do you see God at work? Do you ever think to yourself, these are forces that are not human?
No, to be honest, I don't think so. My opinion is that the development of the world community is in accordance with the inherent laws, and those laws are what they are. It's always been this way in the history of mankind. Some nations and countries rose, became stronger and more numerous, and then left the international stage, losing the status they had accustomed to. It seems that there has never been anything like the Roman Empire in the history of mankind. Nevertheless, the potential of the barbarians gradually grew, as did their population. In general, the barbarians were getting stronger and begun to develop economically, as we would say today. This eventually led to the collapse of the Roman Empire and the regime imposed by the Romans. However, it took 5 centuries for the Roman Empire to fall apart. The difference with what is happening now is that all the processes of change are happening at a much faster pace than in Roman times.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I am Blue Jason. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. May I, going forward, intrinsically remind you and encourage all of you, would you kindly remember the 25th of December, the Antichrist treason and plot? For I may think of no reason Trudeau's COVID treason will ever be forgot. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I am Blue Jason. Good day, ladies and